Chair now recognizes the gentleman from New Jersey's 8th District for 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Novak, just quickly, do we need more energy production in this country? Just yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. And is ensuring that consumers' energy bills are affordable a priority for this administration? Just yes or no?
It is one of the objectives: affordable, secure, reliable, abundant.
Appreciate that. And is it a priority of this administration to ensure that the United States continues to compete with China with respect to energy production?
It is.
Thank you. In a hearing yesterday with Chairman Latta, he described that a large part of China's energy production comes from coal plants and cited this as a justification on why this administration is prioritizing the revival of coal energy. Would you say this is an accurate characterization? Yes or no? To compete with China, they utilize coal, and therefore we should revitalize coal in the United States to compete with China. Is that a fair assessment? Yes or no?
Coal is clearly part of how we generate a lot of dispatchable baseload in this country.
I'm just curious if you know how China is meeting their electricity demand growth.
I've seen charts, nuclear, coal, they have a mix. They have a mix.
And that mix would include solar and wind.
Correct.
According to the New York Times, China met 84% of its electricity demand growth with solar and wind power, and China is well known to be the world's top electricity producer from renewable energy sources. In 2024, China installed over 373 gigawatts of renewables, and their goal is to meet 80% of its total energy mix from non-fossil fuel sources by 2016. So if the goal here is to maintain American energy dominance over China, why are we completely abandoning renewables and allowing China to become the world leader in renewable energy production?
I think the answer there, it's not all of the above, it's best of the above, and the best of the above is always context dependent. There are certain contexts in which particular generation makes a lot of sense, and there are other contexts in which it doesn't, and that's, again, very fact-specific, very site-specific.
But you also stated earlier in your testimony that I believe your quote was, "Fewer choices put more strain on the grid." Was that your statement earlier? Something along those lines? Fewer choices put more strain on the grid?
Depending on what the range of choices is. Again,
well, but if states are
specific.
deciding, right, that they want to advance offshore wind and the president pauses those projects, wouldn't that be fewer choices on the grid? And wouldn't therefore that put more strain on the grid and make prices more expensive for our residents? Just yes or no?
Again, contextually dependent.
The answer is yes. And the Trump administration, Republicans in Congress are actively making policy choices that inhibit our ability to quickly bring more energy sources online. So far this Congress, their focus has been on undoing Biden-era policies, including going after energy efficiency standards. They've also imposed tariffs that will dramatically increase the cost of equipment necessary to build out energy projects and completely abandoning renewables such as solar and wind. So I'm struggling to see what the play here is, because it almost seems like this administration and what they're doing with offshore wind is retribution for the Obama administration's decision on the Keystone pipeline. Would you say that's accurate? This feels like Obama administration made a decision with Keystone pipeline, so now the Trump administration is going to make a decision with offshore wind, despite the fact that most people here agree that we need an all-of-the-above strategy, including wind and solar?
Let me say first, again, I'm a lawyer, not a policymaker, and I can't speak to the context of Keystone, but I'm not aware of anything that, at least in my experience, it would suggest that there's some retribution afoot.
You may not be a policymaker, but as the acting general counsel, you're involved in a lot of these decisions that go into the policies, yes or no?
I advise policymakers on the law.
And are you aware of any policy that the administration is considering that will help reduce the cost being borne by consumers with respect to the increase in AI data centers? Just yes or no. Has anything come across your desk that shows the administration is dealing with the increase in demand caused by data centers?
Yes, for example, I mentioned earlier the idea of co-located gas-fired facilities. It's a very attractive idea to have a point source solution for generating.
Okay. And you are general counsel. We've had witnesses here from the Department of Energy who cannot acknowledge the benefit of clean, renewable energy. I am curious if there's a DOE policy that prohibits its employees and officials from speaking to the benefits of clean energy.
None that I'm aware of.
Okay. Are you aware of anyone left at the Department of Energy who still believes in clean renewable energy?
I would say we've got a range of people with a range of viewpoints on policy, and those get full-throated expression when people are talking about
And then
policy
presumably
choices.
shut down by this administration. Thank you. I'm out of time. I yield back.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.